I think there's something about being the mayor of a small town. It's very unique that you have different problems, but you also have different successes too. When you're a growing community like Piedmont is, we've basically doubled in size over the last 10 years, and with that growth comes some growing pains, but also comes a lot of good things too. So, yeah, I've spent going on 12 years now working in government, and this year I made the leap outside of working for government and working with companies and individuals, trying to help them working through government. So it's a change for me. It's something that I'm comfortable with because it's something I've done for 12 years. It's just I'm on the other side of the fence now. So it's been very interesting for me to make that leap. You know, I have been very fortunate in my career to work with who I consider some of the finest politicians in Oklahoma, starting with Speaker Larry Adair. He was the last Democratic Speaker of the House of Representatives, working for Jim Roth, who I consider to be one of the finest corporation commissioners and just public servants in general. Lieutenant Governor Jerry Askins, she was a wonderful boss and just a very dedicated lady. Governor George Nye was probably, of all the people I worked for, probably had the most influence on me, and just one of those guys that I always said that he's the next generation of Will Rogers, just with his wisdom and his experience. He's just a wonderful man, and I will always have great feelings for Governor Nye. So, you know, it's something that even now that whenever I have interns or people ask me, young people ask me about leaving the state, I say it's fine to leave the state. It's always fine to experience things, but just make the commitment to come back. I always knew that I would come back to Oklahoma. I didn't know when that was going to be in my career. I was working in Austin, Texas, which is one of the most beautiful places that you can live, and especially for a young professional. And I had this great opportunity to come back and work for the Oklahoma House of Representatives. And it was just one of those things that you just can't pass up. If you want to work in politics, this was my opportunity. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I came back. I had been gone from Oklahoma about 9 years at the time, and I had a different image of Oklahoma from when I got back, and I was so pleasantly surprised that the way things had changed and grown around the state. Now I can't imagine living anywhere else. So. You know, success is a funny thing, especially in politics, because one day success can be the next day's failure. I try and always put in some level of humility in whatever I do, because the next day could change. I appreciate everything that I've ever achieved in my life, and I try not to take anything for granted. Success comes and goes, so I try and stay fresh and try not to take anything for granted in anything that I do. So, you know, it's one of those things that one day I might be mayor all day, and because we just have things going on, and then the next day it's not quite as active. So every day is a new adventure for me, especially being mayor. The only way that I can balance it is to just stay focused. I will tell you actually the thing that I have to do for myself to be able to stay focused and keep my life moving forward. I'm big on checklists, so I always have to have a checklist and an agenda of what it is that I need to accomplish. It's not easy because I always expect the best and then prepare for the worst, because you never know one day that a sewer line is going to break, or you're going to have a massive problem in your city, and you just have to address it, and you just deal with things as they come. And I never try and get too high or too low. And that seems to work. So, you know, I'm very close to my family. So we do a lot of family things. I have 3 huge Great Danes that I consider my babies, that they take a lot of attention. I spend time at home. When I'm not doing mayor or work stuff, I'm kind of a homebody. I enjoy catching up on old office episodes, and I do play video games, and that seems to take my mind off of things, but I'll unwind at home mostly. I have 10 acres, and that takes a lot of work to keep that in order. So.